Hi there, and welcome to the Points Plus Patches podcast, where ancient medicine meets modern technology. I'm your host, Suzy McCleary, and today we're looking at the patch that started it all, revisiting energy enhancers, and now with the added benefit of the X39 patch. In this episode, I want to revisit something foundational. This past week, I rewatched one of the Connect webinars by David Schmidt, the founder and CEO of LifeWave. And while I know the story of energy enhancers for years, hearing it told again through his lens brought a renewed clarity for me. Sometimes it's not about learning something new, it's about remembering the power of what's already in front of us. Let's rewind to early 2000s, before X39, before global recognition, when LifeWave first began. The first patch wasn't about stem cells, it was energy enhancer. No stimulants, no chemicals, just light, intended, and a radically new approach to supporting vitality. David created it for Navy SEALs to help them maintain stamina during extended missions. That original story alone tells you everything about the purpose behind it. Performance under pressure, achieved safely and naturally. And it's still relevant today. This patch marked the beginning of wearable photobiomodulation. And while the technology has evolved, the original principles remain unchanged and incredibly powerful. Enter Coach Richard Quick. He wasn't just legendary for his 13 NCAA Division I titles or leading 6 Olympic teams. He was known for doing things by the book and the body. In 2004, during the Olympic trials, he introduced the Energy Enhancer patches to the Stanford women's swim team. Not because of hype, but because he was searching for a safe, non-drug solution to improve endurance and recovery. What made him take that leap? He saw promising results in the data and felt it aligned with his core coaching principles. Only use what was safe, ethical, and backed by evidence. If it didn't pass that test, it didn't touch the pool deck. That story resonated deeply with me. As a doctor of Chinese medicine, I've always been drawn to interventions that restore balance rather than override it. Coach Quick brought the same integrity to performance, and his belief was so strong he later became LifeWave's first athletic director, helping bring this technology to athletes worldwide. What followed was, in many ways, the beginning of a movement. Photos began surfacing of top-tier athletes wearing these patches. Michael Phelps, David Beckham, Phil Feister, the actual world's strongest man. None of them were paid. They simply used the patches because they worked. At a time when visibility meant everything, this grassroots credibility built a kind of momentum that marketing alone can't create. And in the middle of it all, there's a front page article from the Atlantic Journal-Constitution featuring David Schmidt at the Olympic trials. The technology was gaining attention and the science was starting to follow. Now, while stories inspire, data confirms. Dr. Tom and Helen Basinski, respected in the biofeedback world, ran clinical tests on the energy enhancer patches using an acuscope, which measured tissue conductivity. In traditional Chinese medicine terms, it measures the qi flow through the channels. Their findings? The energy enhancer patch improved conductivity along tissue systems. Essentially, it opened the channels and restored flow. That has massive implications for more than just athletes. They speak to fatigue, pain, and energetic stagnation at the core level. Another study I found particularly meaningful came from Dr. Hala Nazaran, a biomedical engineer at the University of Texas. Now, his focus was heart rate variability, a gold standard indicator of nervous system health and adaptability. The energy enhancer patch showed statistically significant improvements in heart rate variability. And this matters because when your nervous system is in a regulated state, your digestion improves, sleep quality increases, hormone balance stabilizes, and your recovery physically and emotionally get stronger. Again, no chemicals, no pharmaceuticals, just light interacting with the body's natural intelligence. Now let's bring this into the present. X39 is LifeWave's flagship for good reason. Stem cell activation using light is one of the most significant wellness breakthroughs we've seen. But what I appreciate from David's webinar was the reminder that X39 and Energy Enhancers aren't separate tracks. They're partners. X39 activates cellular repair. Energy Enhancers support the system that delivers that repair. In Chinese medicine, you might think of it as structure and flow. One patch brings the regenerative blueprint, the other creates the environment for it to take effect. When used together, the results aren't just physical, they're systemic. So here's what I hope you walk away with today. Energy Enhancer wasn't just the first patch, it was the foundation. And even 20 years later, its relevance hasn't diminished. If anything, it's become more essential as we learn more about how the body responds to light, frequency, and flow. If you're someone who's already patching, especially with X39, I'd encourage you to reintroduce energy enhancers into your rhythm, especially if you're feeling like your energy is flat or your recovery has plateaued. If you're new to all of this, welcome. You don't need to know everything to begin. Just take the next step. 2 simple invitations before we wrap. If you're using patches already, try using the energy enhancers with X39 for 10 days and see how your body responds. If you're not sure where to start, I've included a link in the show notes because here's what I've found again and again. Your body knows what to do. Sometimes it just needs the right signal. Until then, happy patching.